All right, welcome back, everybody. We left off right here after winning the second season game. So bringing our record to 1-1 for the season so far. Yeah, we just pulled it out, 27-24, I believe, over the. I don't remember what team we just faced. Isn't that funny? It was just last night. There it is, the Vikings. 27-24. We pulled it out over the Vikings. This morning, I actually sat back and watched a video, and I'm going to link it in the description once find it again. And it was Shady going over um, slider settings and getting really in depth and in detail about not just the gameplay sliders, but talking about the penalties, also talking about um, sub ins and sub outs and how that does impact the game as well. And a lot of the different settings that you have in your game that kind of are being used elsewhere to impact what's happening on the field. And again, we're taking that kind of looking at it and saying, okay, yeah, that could be. And then, it's like, well, we can test it out, right? We can tweak some things and say, okay, does this help? Does the reaction of our defensive players, is that better now, right? And now he did specifically show that cover three is broken. That's unfortunate, right? And one of the things I will have to do, and I don't have time to do it now, but I will have to go and look at my defensive playbook and basically make it so that we never play cover three if it's broken. And then he showed some clear examples where the linebackers don't know where to go. And we saw that in the game last night against the Vikings, where we saw the the two linebackers and a nickel go to the same spot and kind of just bump into each other and cover no one. And it's like, well, that's not helping anybody. You know what I mean? And so but I can't say if we were in cover three or whatever, but just that reaction, right? Their ability to react and awareness is just not there defensively. We get it. There needs to be a patch at some point. So right now, it's basically throwing everything at it but the kitchen sink, right? Look for little rays of hope and tweak some things. So I've gone in and then I've tweaked the the gameplay sliders based on what he was suggesting, and then tweak them a little bit more based on what I know or what I'm seeing and what I'm okay with. And what I'll show you real quick is now quarterback accuracy. He says to take it down to 5. I think that's crazy, right? Because they're wildly inaccurate now. The user quarterback, right? At 5, I don't even see how a ball will ever get there, right? Pass blocking, he says to leave at 50, but and then only move it if there's absolutely no time. The rush is just getting there immediately. And that's what we've seen. The rush just gets there immediately. Receiver catching, I don't remember, honestly, where he said to leave it. He might have said 45. I tuned it up, right? Because they drop everything. And then he might have actually had it higher than 45. He might even had it at 60. I just can't remember now, but I tuned it up because my experience is they drop everything. Run blocking, I think he said to leave it at 50 because he has no issues running the ball. And then also watching, excuse me, a video by Eric Rayweather. um, I can't get his name right, but I should put that in there. One of the things he said as far as running, and then what I noticed that I was doing was in the backfield, do not hit the right trigger. So do not speed burst in the backfield. That will cause immediate block sheds by the defensive lineman, and they will be on you before you even get back to the line. And that is the one thing that we have noticed. Sorry about that. Something's just totally going on with my voice. We are using a different mic today. One of the things my setup is still in work, in process. I have a dedicated mic, but what I was noticing and seeing a lot of is echo, and that's not okay. And right now, I have nothing to drink, and my voice just doesn't want to work right now. So that is very frustrating, actually. It's like, okay, we might have tweaked the game so that it works the way we want it, but now my voice doesn't want to work. So, but excuse me, and I'm really sorry about this. So, um, so for me, I'm tweaking up the run blocking, ball security. He had it at, I want to say at 75, maybe even as high as 95. I'm not really sure. But for defense reaction and coverage, he put him out to 100. He said that's the only way you can overcome the shortcomings of the defense not being aware and knowing where to go. Tackling, I don't think they do a very good job of tackling, but one of the things we'll see in a little bit could actually answer that question. And in my testing so far, it is kind of looking that way. So CPU skill, he says to put it at 5. I dropped it down to 10. I I don't remember the pass blocking. I think he had it down to 15. It might have been only 25. But he's like, yeah, if you, well, maybe it was 20. But the the key here was if you have it any higher than that, your guys are just not going to come off of the blocks. They're not. They're not going to come off of the blocks. But it's not just this that's causing that issue. Wide receiver catching, they catch everything. And I think I still have that higher than what he did. I think he might have had it down at 20 or 25. Run blocking, he says you can tweak it up or leave it. It is not that impactful. Ball security, anything above 25, and they're not going to even think about fumbling the ball. Pass defense reaction time, uh, I lowered it down to 40. I think he left it at 50. Um, but yeah, it, you know what I mean? They are on the ball all the time. Interceptions. His words were, anything above 20, they will catch and intercept everything. And as a matter of fact, I used to set it down at 25, and I was still saying that's ridiculous, just how often and how well they're getting to the ball. And so I'm kind of leaning in the same train of thought that he is, right? And kind of saying, no, you're right. Anything probably above 20, and they're intercepting everything. Tweaking down the tackling just a little bit on their part because again, you just, and then again, this that could be just related to my user ability as well. Again, like he said, he didn't have any trouble running the ball. As a matter of fact, he thinks running should be harder. And I'm like, well, speak for yourself, mister. So he had injuries, I think, a little lower and fatigue higher than what I have it. He was saying that, you have to tune it up even higher. I think he had his at 85. Minimum player speed threshold. He said 76 is the sweet spot. So we're giving that a try. Offsides. I think he had his weight up higher, right? That does, and he says this plays into the aggressiveness of the defense of your defensive lineman getting off on the ball. So not only do we have to tweak down pass rush a little bit, but now we have to, work with the penalties because the penalty is dictating whether our defensive linemen are going to get off the ball or not. Really? False start, all the way holding, all the way down, right? Face mask, he had up to 99. I'm not willing to put it that high, but he says the higher, right? Defensive pass interference. He says you have to tweak it all the way down so that your players will stay with the receivers. I'm like, are you serious? Are you dead serious to me right now that cannot be true? But I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to say you're dead wrong, but I'm gonna like, well, let me test it. Let me see if my players start actually covering the receivers now. And if that's the case, that's poor. That is very poor, right? Defensive pass interference that have nothing, no impact on what the players do and react on the field, right? Defensive pass interference should technically be that indicator or that little percentage. Like, are we going to call defensive pass interference? Because in the game, it's calculations and things like that. So, at what percentage will we call a defensive pass interference here, right? What percentage could it happen? Not whether they're going to stick with and run with the receiver or not, right? It's like, okay, on this play, defensive pass interference, right here. And then, yes, that plays into the whole, well, it's art and then it's predetermined. I'm like, well, it's a video game. You have to predetermine it. It's not real life. You can't, you know what I mean? There's no one making the judgment call that, oh, he ran into this player, right? So it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of have to be predetermined. And then the other things all turned down, right? And I'm like, are you serious? He says you turn down roughing the passer. I believe it. Yeah, roughing the passer. So that that promotes the quarterback now to run outside the pocket. I'm like, are you serious? Right? And so you turn that off, and it also makes the defenders actually go in and attack the passer, right? And I'm like, so I'm not in agreement. I'm just copying it for now because if it presents a better experience than what we've seen so far, then I'm all for it. So we will see. And then um then in no, that's it. That was all the slides. Yeah. So now we're gonna give it a try, right? So, but when we left off, real quick here, some housekeeping stuff. Sam Williams, I told you, this is very tempting to me, right? I think I can hold off one more week before I pull the trigger, yay or nay. I think, and if it isn't, if they don't present me the same option next week, so be it. But we want to see what happens with Deron Bland with these new settings, right? We want to see how Trayvon performs with these new settings. So let's go ahead and get in here real quick. I'm very anxious, very. I want to see how this plays out.
It's week 3 of the 2025 season, and the question is, are you ready for some football?
We are.
It's the Chargers and the Cowboys, and it kicks off next on Madden NFL 25.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State in the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gaunt, joined as always by Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Cowboy team entering play. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week, they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Chargers, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
I wanted to let them finish their whole little pregame thing. We're going to do the same format, right? We're going to fast forward in the first quarter, 7-7, and I think they're driving on us right now. 14-7, keep going, 14-10, 17-10, 17-7. God dang it. I always hate when we give up that touchdown right at the very end, right? Going into the half. It's like, could we, could we not have just stopped it?
It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Cowboy offense set to go to begin this third quarter. And Charles, they trail here, though not really the...
I got to tell you, the one thing that I have noticed is I don't know that the kick returns, especially Deuce, is as good as he was.
No, they certainly did their part in the first half, but when you're in a shootout like this, you definitely want your defense to play better, but you know that's out of your control. All you can do, keep putting points on the scoreboard and keep giving your defense opportunities to make stops.
All right.
They'll start on the ground here on first down, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Okay, right there. I had the right trigger. I had to try to do the speed thing
2nd and 8
to get past Mac. Mac was back there immediate, all right? But it's Khalil Mack, even though he's older now.
They'll keep it on the ground. Dixon. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 45 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
On first down, Dixon. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
That was a good forceful run, and it demonstrates why you've got to put your body on a runner when you're trying to tackle him. If you just go in there and just try and get him down with arm tackles, usually doesn't work very well. And we saw on that play, he'll run right through those attempted plays.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Now, one of the things that I have noticed is...
And Lance now to throw.
It is
short one there,
harder.
taken by Ferguson. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
God dang it.
And now we're going to get a stoppage. A member of the Cowboys shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break.
What I have noticed
Ball on the
is
40 now. Here's
in running,
2nd down and 2.
it's really hard not to hit the right trigger. But, yeah. But as soon as I hit that right trigger, it's like every single one converges right on me. It's like that right trigger is their signal to, on them right now.
Lance,
and it's
quickly here, and that's complete. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 28. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So there is like almost like this signal. It seems like it's this signal. As soon as you hit that right trigger, all the defenders now know where you are and they're all on you, just like that.
Throwing now is Lance. Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
I'm not seeing any improvement on the pass blocking, right? I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's more time. So even though I tweaked it up, it still feels like they're in there and my guys just doesn't hold their block at all.
Up the middle they go. Dixon running right through it. And he'll be close to a first down at the Chargers' 20-yard line. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
The problem that we're facing right now is
controlling a drive. And with runs like that, they'll continue to do exactly that.
It is like so impossible for me to not hit the right trigger.
On 3rd
and
down,
just trust that I can
and he picks up the
navigate my way through even just the
Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
And then when I do actually
line of scrimmage, the 15, it's 1st and 10.
It works. Right?
They'll keep it on the ground. Dixon, and able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10.
So hard.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
To throw, it's Lance. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ferguson. Touchdown, Cowboys. Jake Ferguson, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Cowboys are an extra point away from evening this one up.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest.
All right.
3 now for the point after.
Now to see how the defense performs. See how all the gaping holes in the secondary.
And game here in the 3rd quarter.
See the inability of the line to shed blocks.
11 plays all told. And it's capped off for the Cowboys touchdown. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Turning down the face mask, right? Or was it the face mask? One of the options that you turn down all the way
about to get going. Their halftime lead
leads to more rack tackles as opposed to hard hits.
And that shouldn't change the mindset of
and you know my issue with the shoulder game. And they run full speed at you, hit you, and then bounce off of it. I want rack tackles. I want high impact lasting.
Another run here with Dobbins.
That's what I want. You see that? Come up, wrap up.
Sometimes you're
pull the guy down.
And the play comes to you, and sometimes you
I don't need highlight film, hit stick tackle.
Great example of
don't want that.
Right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Short throw to Disley, and he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35.
Good job. Good job.
So the completion results there in 9 yards.
Stop
and that's going to make it 4th
nice.
down. Here's J.K. Scott now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Dallas offense set for this next drive. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a
Now I
play
had to
action, and throw one deep.
put the spread
84
to get
yards
around
for him
that
on the
edge.
ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Navigate.
They'll keep it on the ground.
Boom.
Dixon. And 3 yards there. Takes him to the 45. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic
Oh.
football and situational football is not just played
I
on
didn't
the
realize.
offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the
Use my
first down
third
marker
down back.
was and making sure they didn't get there.
And
We
he
got
will have
stopped.
a Cowboys first down, at least at first
you see how
glance, as they'll
there's
spot the football
still
just beyond the
absolutely
marker. They find a way to
very
convert
little
on 30
push?
inches.
Looks
Most of the
like
damage has been
our
done through
guys
the air. I mean,
can't
they've rung
push
the bell
the
3 times with passing
defensive lineman
touchdowns. But guess what?
off the
Ground game
ball.
has not been
They
neglected.
can't
Nice
push
little
them off
burst
the
right
ball.
there.
So contact
They'll run on first down.
was being
Dixon.
made
And he's going to get across midfield
in
and
the
into Charger
backfield or right at the
territory.
line of scrimmage.
7 yards on the pickup there, and
Then
it'll
you
leave
have
him with
to
a 2nd and 3.
fall
Well, no
forward
matter how they phrase it, staying on
to get
schedule,
a
staying
couple of
ahead of the
yards.
sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So I'm running the same play.
The Lance going to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. First target, first catch, and a first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down,
Dixon
executed
is
it to
breathing hard.
perfection. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6. Now Lance.
Oh,
And that almost
yes.
the first INC of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions, trying to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
A quick throw here, that's complete. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up.
Nice.
It's a diving catch, and he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped it.
Way to save my bacon on them.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is into the end zone for the Cowboy touchdown. A great play there. His 5th rushing touchdown now on.
5 touchdowns in 3 games. Nice.
The Cowboys have scored again in this 3rd quarter, this time to move out in front. Aubrey good with a PAT, and they will take a 7-point lead. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. LA set to take over again on offense. But Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Going right side here, and that's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out. Back now in Arlington. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. It's Charger football, but they trail here as we get going in quarter number 4.
Oof.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. A give up the middle to Dobbins.
Overshown.
Oh,
Where
he's
were you
got some
going,
breathing
brother?
room. Still going. And down to the 7-yard line.
You see that aggressiveness?
Now a chance to make that big play really
Overshown
hurt.
shot
It's
in.
1st and goal just
Yeah,
outside the
I don't
5.
know where he was going with that.
They'll run with Dobbins.
To me, it's like,
And he's brought down right at the
if you're
5-yard
shooting
line.
like that,
2 on the play.
you either shooting for quarterback or the ball carrier.
Defensively, the
Ball carrier just ran right by you.
for a very short pickup.
What is the point of that?
And he's just going to run right into that big old defensive end. And that play going nowhere.
You got to do it.
Keep in mind, very possibly 4-down territory. Here's Herbert.
There we go.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
Well, it's been a tough go for them. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
Get in there.
And he's brought
That's
down.
what we're looking for from Micah.
With a football, it's a sack.
That
Down.
is what a...
Oh, boy, kind of hold your breath here because Justin Herbert, he appears to be in some...
But that right there, that kind of play is what you are expecting from your, what is it called? Superstar X Factor. So that is what an X Factor does. On the key plays of the drive, get in there and disrupt something. You know, and so that was huge.
That last play. Well,
All right, first things first. All right, Dixon, you've had enough carries. So, regular base, we're going to...
come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment.
Is that Clark? Did we lose somebody too?
They'll start this drive out on the ground. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
Good push from the offensive line, and they've done well so far to build this lead. Now, they've got to get things to the finish line. And that's a solid pickup there to begin the drive.
Again, I know it's recorded commentary, so that's what they say, but I still don't agree with the good push from the offensive line.
Here's Lance. And he rifles one incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage.
It wasn't his fault. It was the receiver's fault. The receiver dropped that ball.
Cowboys on 3rd down. They've been outstanding. 7 first downs and 8
Quarterback can't catch it for him.
This will be 3rd and 6. Here's Lance to throw it.
Why was the other guy going the wrong way?
He's got a man complete, and he will have a Cowboys 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They run here with Dowdle. Up past the 30, 2nd down coming up.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Tweaking the run blocking up. This doesn't feel right.
This is 2nd and 8.
But it still seems just not there yet.
Back to throw. Lance. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on first and second downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
Yeah, he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 114 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock.
Man.
And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot.
And coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah,
Ooh.
when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
An ideal spot here to get a first down and try to run some more clock, and this is second and less than a yard. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw.
No.
Connect, but a late flag comes
I
in,
went to hit the
and the contact may have come too early.
A button, but somehow hit the B button first. Or did I go to hit B and hit A first? Whichever one, I fat fingered right in between the two and hit one before the other. And so it was going to the wrong receiver.
So the pass incomplete in the end zone, but the flag comes out for interference.
And now you're set up right on the doorstep of the goal line. 1 yard away changes what your play calls are going to be.
Yeah, especially if we felt like we could get some penetration there. Some push.
Dowdle will score. Touchdown.
Well, then it really looks like
There's the definition of a statement drive. You're in the fourth quarter, trying to get to the finish line, and here they were able to time and move it down the field. And how about them finishing it off with the touchdown run? Winning football 101, check that box.
The extra point up and good by Aubrey. And the lead now up to 14. So after the touchdown,
long drives. No big plays, just long drives. And look at that. Look at that drive.
At about the 21-yard line. Chargers offense back onto the field. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on fourth down. Didn't convert. Probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't want to get to a fourth down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
Ooh.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete.
Almost pitching it again.
Enough defensively, and now it brings up third down.
Leland is turning into almost Anthony.
Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get this to the 23, but now he's short of what he needed.
Right through the blob.
Go down, it's a gain of 6. And it'll be fourth down. They snapped it to Herbert. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is dropped.
Nice.
Oh, my goodness, there was no one around him, but he took his eye off it, and it falls incomplete. So they really needed points here in a two-score game. Could not come away with anything.
Actually not accurate.
And while we know they're
right, Diggs was just right there on him, right? So he was right there. He goes, there was no one around him, and he just dropped it. Actually, no. He had just maybe pulled a half step away from Diggs, but the proximity is probably what caused him to drop the ball, right? And also us turning down. But you notice We turned it down, quarterback accuracy to 5, and he's still throwing dimes.
They can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now, really hoping for a turnover. Throwing to start the drive, Lance. And it's nearly an interception, but it's incomplete.
Swinging that interception thing
Really
down,
would have helped him there,
I
but
saved my bet like 3 times.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there.
I was taking off.
You've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
It should have been.
5
It should have
yards,
been.
now it's
I threw
3rd
that
and
out
5.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
That's right, Fergie. Use your size. Good to yards. Good to yards.
3rd and 4.
Yeah.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
This will be stopped about 2
Finally
yards shy
getting
of the
some
marker.
points there.
8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Able to stay in bounds, and the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold him up.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Rico Dowdle with now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And the Cowboys are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this fourth-quarter lead. So the toss play effective, even down here near the goal line.
Yeah, and you're hoping the defense commits too many men to stop the run in the middle of the field, and that you're
Part of me wants to run that back
bit of an advantage.
and then hit the right
And when
trigger
they do,
as soon as
race to the
as soon
pylon,
as
and
the
this time he had to speed
ball
to win
carrier
that
gets
race.
the ball.
Aubrey
And watch the defenders convert
and the
on
lead
the
now to
lead.
3 touchdowns at 21.
And then
The
it's
drive
kind of
summary
like,
that time, 5 plays.
is that
And
really
the
what
results
should
a
happen?
4-yard touchdown run. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out, because now it's not a total loss, because as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, they were just out personnel. They were
no matter what,
it's a team that's playing at an elite
it looks like no matter what you put the
Back to throw
quarterback
here.
on, his
This ball
accuracy,
tipped, and it's going to be incomplete.
he's
Fortunate
going
maybe to
to throw
get
back.
that back. It's 3rd down. Right
But
where this
I
set
have
of downs
noticed,
started, they need a
doesn't matter
fourth
which
down
side
here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
quarterback,
Justin Herbert looking to pass.
you see a lot more passes into the back of helmets
This
and
will be
stuff like that.
incomplete.
That just happens more
Gets
often now.
just as he was letting that
It's like,
go.
okay.
That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
Which is
And he'll
just,
move to get Herbert off the field.
that's what
They're
happens.
going for this.
On for it. Okay. And we're blitzing.
4th down for Herbert. Desperation time. That is caught. And he is going to have the Chargers first down, as this defense cannot come up with a play that they need. In fact, they surrender a big chunk. 17 yards there on 4th down. Here's 2nd and 10. Herbert. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 45-yard line.
I have no problem
hits him in stride.
with wrap tackles.
And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. And it appears we have a Charger shaken up on that last play. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10.
Ooh.
And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. Now it's
finally
2nd and 10.
To make the play. Ain't mad at you.
From the shotgun, here's Herbert.
Now with all this off coverage,
complete to Palmer. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back for the 2-minute warning.
And I don't like it.
1st and 10 as they search for a late score. He'll swing this out to Dobbins.
Yes.
And he's going to be taken down.
It takes him 15 plays to get down on score.
Herbert throwing again.
And, scoring in 3.
He'll dump this off complete
the whole point
to
was,
Dobbins.
Keep playing the way you've been playing the whole game.
A shotgun snap for Herbert.
Stop. Don't play scared.
He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield.
It's that old adage, prevent defense only prevents you from winning.
As they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Now it's Herbert.
Take it out. Take it out of the playbook.
Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
I think this is what this game's become now. Just go deep, see if we can get something to go our way.
Yeah, not the most creative or most inventive play call there, but not much has worked for them throughout this game.
And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. Josh Palmer, his 3rd touchdown of the season, all coming in this game. And the Chargers have got it back to a 2-score game here
so we make a nobody receiver.
Extra point by Sly is up and good. And the lead will be cut down to 14. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick.
He's not a nobody receiver, but he's not an X Factor superstar.
They recovered it. But hang on, now. There's a penalty flag down.
You know what I mean? He's like your number 2 or he's not even your number. Could be your number 2.
You understand? I mean, they're so eager trying to get back in this game here, the 4th quarter, but they touched that one a little too early before it went.
Who's covering him that he's got 3 touchdown passes?
And in such a high-stakes scenario, everyone's feeling the pressure on this play. The special teams coordinator, which one is he going to pick in terms of kicks? Can the kicker execute it? Can the team wait for 10 yards? So many variables, and in this case, they didn't get it done.
Now the Chargers will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game.
No push whatsoever.
So 2nd and 9, and you have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. Chargers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game.
I don't like the play call. I don't like it at all.
1st down marker at the 31. It's 3rd down. They run again with Dowdle, and they'll get him down at about the 37, well short of the 1st. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Might as well kick it.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This to make it a 3-score game late. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and that will extend their lead even further. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. And that one going to come up short. Low throw.
That is a good play. That is good. With the pressure.
One last throw here for Herbert. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Well, this was a fun one today if you like points. A lot of them went on the board. Both offenses were clicking. Charles, these defenses, meanwhile, have a little something to clean up before their next contest.
Yeah, neither end zone had a stop sign in it, did they? I mean, for both sides, visit it, and with frequency. Not fun to be a defensive player, but on the offensive side of the ball, those guys had a blast. One team came away with a victory, even better for them.
So for Dallas, it's back-to-back victories now after the Week 1 defeat as they move to 2-1. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, for L.A., they'll fall to 1-2, and they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road.
Okay, so that game, and we probably noticed there was a lot less frustration. And did I forget to set this? I could have sworn I went in and set this. So there's my frustration because I'm an idiot. Seriously. It's a wasted opportunity. This guy just gets better and better every week. So there was less frustration on my part because slow and steady wins the race, and that's basically how we had to do it. We had to go slow and steady, and then basically 10, 11, 12 play drives each time. But the thing was, we were able to sustain them and keep them going and not see some of the, and I'm going to say, egregious things that we've seen to this point. And so it just seemed, I felt more relaxed this time around. There were some things that I saw needing tweaking where I can turn up the receiver catching ability on the CPU side. But I still think there still needs to be some tweaking done with the run blocking and pass blocking on the player side. It's still the pass blocking. I'm not as it's not there's not as much urgency there right now because it was respectable, right? We were under pressure. We got the ball out when a good portion of the time. Not saying all of the time, but we got the ball out a good portion of the time. So, pass blocking, I still kind of want to tweak it, right? Just because, but then the question is, who was it that was beating their blocks immediately? And then, yes, it's Khalil Mack. He is older. He has lost a step, but he's beating second-year guy, right? Guyton, who hasn't made it to all-pro level yet. So, okay, fine. Run blocking, though, on my side, my offensive lineman, okay. Zach Martin, yeah, he's getting up there in years. So he's not the same Zach from 5 years ago. But he is still not getting any push whatsoever, right? And then Tyler Smith, is one of the best and biggest, brightest upcoming guards in the league. And he is a monster, right, to deal with. And he doesn't get much push. So that's where, to me, there's an issue. It's like, okay, now BB and Guyton, it's already been established in the preseason that those guys can anchor down and get some push going in the run game. So 4 out of the 5 linemen, and then we also know that Steele, his strongest part of his game is the run blocking portion. So he should. So basically, if this line should be much improved over what it's been in the last couple of years. So I'm still expecting to see push, and we're seeing absolutely none. Right? We can scheme some holes, right, and get through them, but a lot of times it's like I'm met right there at the line of scrimmage or behind the line, and maybe that's just the way it's supposed to be, right? Maybe, the majority of your plays are not supposed to be successful, and then it's the few that you're able to break open, right? And again, though, it's like if this is like a top 5 rush defense, then yeah, you're supposed to have a hard time at it. And so we have to see and look and figure out, well, where do they fall? You know, as far as their rush defense, where are they ranked? And so, but right now, I got to say, I am pretty sold on the changes that we made with the tweaks that we made, and no, with the caveat that future tweaks have to still be made, right? And again, the receiving ability of the CPU team, yeah, we gotta raise that back up, right? And then maybe I'll put interceptions on for the CPU at 20, so we'll put it right there, because there were 3 that they dropped that technically I wouldn't have. I'd have been hurt if they got all 3, but they should have gotten at least one of those. At least one of the 3, and they shouldn't have all 3 been dropped. It is a reason why they are playing defense, right? They shouldn't catch them all. But sometimes when you put the ball right in the hands of the defender, they do catch it. And so we have to tweak that up a little bit. So when we put the ball in their hands, they do catch it 50% of the time, you know. So that's something. Um, so the next thing to tweak though is really I'm just running the straight playbooks, and I might even switch to say the Jets playbook or another team that's running a base 4-3, right? Because I'm not liking the playbook that I'm seeing here, even though this is what Zim does. He does blitz the linebackers quite a bit, right, to help out, and we're seeing that. Overshown's blitz, that one bugged me because it's like, obviously it was a pass blitz because the running back ran right by him. So it wasn't a run blitz, right? Because if you're going to run, because, you know what I mean? It's like, well, then who are you going after? The ball. Go, the ball, the ball, the ball. So, yeah. So we'll see. Um, but yeah, this game was better. But like I said, it's like, you know, it's almost like when you are trying to put out product or capture this without the couple of patches having been put out by EA, then it's like you got what you got, right? The whole point of this, and then unfortunately the way it goes is the game comes out, and then you wait for the patches, and before it gets better, and if you don't, then the product that you're going to see and you're putting out isn't the finished product, and it's not the best product. So that's where we're at, right? So this is a long slow, steady race. Okay, so remember, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment. If you got anything to say about the slider selections and where we're putting them, and things like that. But until next time, you guys be good. Later.